All right, everybody, how you doing? First and foremost, I want you guys to use your imagination. Imagine two young teens with a child in a crack epidemic down in Tampa, St. Petersburg, Florida. Two young teens with a child surrounded by a lot of crime, poverty, and a whole bunch of hopelessness. But somehow, some way, they made it. My name is Rod Patterson, Sir Rod, a.k.a. Carra's dad. And the greatest title I have is Carra's father. I want to thank everybody for traveling from near and far. We got people from L.A., Virginia, I don't even say Florida, St. Petersburg, Tallahassee. What else? New York? Is New York in the house? So, I thank you for traveling. It means a lot to my daughter, Ann Ruffin. Okay, Carra likes a lot of structure, and so I was told that I have 2 minutes to talk. And this is one of those rare occasions where I'm gonna pull my father card, because that's not gonna happen. Nah, not after the years we put in. So, but I do promise you I'm gonna make it quick as possible. But also to make sure that I make it quick as possible, I have my little notes here, so I stay on point and I cover everything I want to cover. So, the name of my sermon, the message today is called A Blessed Man, a blessed man, a blessed man. And I am that blessed man, and I have a lot of blessings in my life, a lot of blessings. My wife of 24 years, right here at the table, Amos. My sister, my son, Aaron. We got Rico in the house, and my grandkids, Lindsay and the kids. So I'm a very blessed man, but we're only going to talk about 3 specific blessings right now for this talk. And the first blessing is going to be Ruffin. Now, quiet as kept. I didn't want to let him know this, because this is just what us fathers do, but I liked Ruffin from day one. I really did. I think I'm a good judge of people, but I liked him from day one. And one thing I liked about him was he had an old soul, a calming spirit about himself. And another thing I liked about him, what sealed the deal with me is I received a phone call one day out of the blue. I'm doing my thing, I'm on the grind. And I get a call, and it's Ruffin, and he asked me for my daughter's hand in marriage. And that meant so much to me. That blew my mind, because who does that? I didn't know they still do that in this day and time. So that sealed the deal with me, and I feel I'm blessed to have you in our lives, and I feel like I have another son now. So I have 3 sons now. Yeah. So that's the first blessing. Welcome you. Second blessing, Carra Rasheen Pintus. My baby girl. It's been a blessing to be along this journey with her, from Miss Georgia State. Yeah. Was it Tyler Perry and Tyler Perry Productions, and what else we have? We have NYU. Then from NYU we went to Broadway twice. I think shortly after Broadway, there was a little movie called Straight Outta Compton. And then we had to arrange some things with the arrangement. So it's been a wonderful blessing just to have you in my life. And if anybody know me or hung out with me, I don't care where I am in the world or where I'm going or traveling, all the things I do. If you talk to me long enough, my daughter going to come up in the conversation. I tell everybody, but I don't care where I'm at. I talk and I brag, and I'm so very proud of you, Carra. So very proud. Feel very proud of you. So that's my second blessing. I love you, Pooh. I love you. That's a nickname, Pooh. And the third blessing is Carra's mother. Carra's mother. Yeah. Cheryl Smith. No, I'm sorry. Dr. Cheryl Smith. Wow. You know, Dr. Cheryl Smith, that blows my mind. See, when I started this off and I told you that story about those two young teens, see, that was us. She was 16, I was 17. I was only 18 for 3 days when Carra was born. Now imagine two young teens with a child surrounded by crime, poverty, and a whole bunch of hopelessness. But somehow, some way, we made it. This wasn't supposed to happen. Just because me and her got together and look what we did. And somehow, some way, God took our mess and blessed it. And I thought about that thing. And I realized why. We had some praying people in our lives, some praying people in our lives. Miss Mary Little and Mr. Eugene Little, my grandparents, Lena McGee and Guy McGee. There were some praying giants. We standing on the shoulders of praying giants. In some way, somehow, I think we received their blessings some way, somehow, because we didn't deserve it. This wasn't supposed to happen. We weren't supposed to have a star child. We weren't supposed to be in red carpets and you traveling the world. So yeah, you have been a blessing. And somebody asked me, did I have a problem with sharing the walk to give my daughter away? I had no problem at all with it, not at all. Because I want you to understand something about this woman here. See, this woman here, she held it down for me for about 8 years. She held it down for me for about 8 years while I had to grow up. You see, I said we were young, but you know, I was so blessed that she was younger than me, but she was more mature than me. And it took me 8 long years to grow up, to finally take responsibility. It was her and a little help from child support. But it helped me grow up. But don't get it twisted. I did grow up. And I decided that I would be a part of my kid's life. And I think I finally stepped up to the plate so much that when Carra had the opportunity to be in Straight Outta Compton, she asked me to accompany her on the red carpet. And I knew right then and there I did something right. And so, now Carra, Straight Outta Compton was nice, the red carpet and all the paparazzi and all that stuff, but nothing compares to walking you down that aisle today. Nothing compares to that. So, Cheryl, you have been a blessing. Thank you for raising my children. I couldn't have picked a better mother. God knew that his problem child would need help. And finally, in closing, I'd like to leave you some advice, because I've been in this marriage thing for about 23 years. So, some advice for you, and then I'm going to clear this stage and give it to you. First thing I want you to know is, Ruffin, from this day forward, you are never right. You're never right. She's always right. And if by some incident, by some freak of nature, you happen to be right, you got to keep that a secret. Don't tell nobody. Don't you let her think that she did it. But she's always right. And finally, some advice that I got, some wisdom from a 96-year-old woman. I go into nursing homes and I sing and dance. I do a lot of different things. You Google me, Sarad, whatever. But this advice that I got from this old lady while I was at this nursing home, I'd like to pass on to you. I was packing up my sound equipment and getting ready to get out of there, and she started reminiscing about her and her husband. She was 96. She said her husband had passed 23 years prior. But she started saying that her and her husband, when he was alive, she said they lived. They traveled the world. They went to the party. They lived. They had a good time. And then she said what puzzled her was, in this assisted living, this nursing home that she was at, she said people get in here and it seems like they hold back. They don't live. They don't do anything. And then they wake up one day and it's all over. It's gone. So she said, but she went back to her husband again and said, we lived. And that's my advice to you and Ruffin, Carra. Live. Live. Don't let anybody, this is your book. This is your world. There's no set rules. Live. Don't let anybody. I love your music that you picked for your wedding. I love your style, y'all swag, your dance out here. Keep living. Eat it up. Ride it till the wheels fall off. Ladies and gentlemen, that's my time. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Being cool. A toast to the couple. I love you.